Hey guys, Tony here with DojoHero.com. We're going to be doing a little series from other martial arts school owners from around the country that are doing well and are willing to share their information with us. And we've got Sensei Eddie coming on with us today, and just waiting for him. Here he comes. Hey, how are you, sir?
Hey, Tony. Hey, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Thanks for coming on with us. I really appreciate it. That's great.
Yeah, I think it's awesome what you're doing. And then when I saw that email this morning, when I woke up, I go, that is so cool. I would love, you know, I try to share as much as I can, even with just like the business owners in my plaza.
Yeah.
Just, did you get that PPP? Did you look up the new program they have for our county? And so like what you're doing for our industry, I'm like, I would love to share. I mean, I don't know all the answers, but I just like to. We're still afloat and we're still in business. We're not back where we were before pre-COVID, but it's slowly getting there. The start of the new year.
The fact that you're still rocking and rolling and hanging in there is quite a testament, especially as long as we've been going through all of this. I don't think anybody thought that it was going to last quite this long, and unfortunately it does put a pretty strong burden on people. So I think even if you don't have all the answers, and none of us do, if you have just a couple little things that resonate with somebody that can give them a little bit of hope, that can give them maybe a little bit of motivation, somebody that might be like right on the edge of thinking about giving it up or pursuing other things, but knowing that this is their passion, that's kind of hard to do. So if it gives them a little bit of hope, that's kind of the whole idea of what we want to do here. And just a small nugget is sometimes all it would take in order to make a big difference.
And also, I feel like the relatability factor. Because sometimes, like with our space, I feel like we're alone, but there's so many of us that are going through this stress. I think it's just a big stress factor, and just we're time managing like never before, and just trying to prioritize what needs to get done before that needs to get done. And so, I mean, I get it, and yeah, I mean, I definitely, I'm glad I got to meet you, via Zoom, because I follow you, man. I stalk you, I follow you, but I've been a member of your Dojo Hero app and stuff, and it's really helpful with my instructors because we're juggling so many things as business owners. We're wearing all the hats, and sometimes just like, man, just look at the app, like just you know how to teach, and just grab whatever you think and then just tweak it, how you instruct. And so it really helps.
That was why I created it initially. I never actually intended it for it to be a product. I did it for my instructors. But why don't you tell us a little bit about like who you are, where you're from? I know you're down in Florida, so
Yeah, I'm actually I was home before, but I'm at my parents' guest room right now, and so I'm at my parents' house because I got a 1-year-old, and
congratulations!
Yeah, thank you. It's my first, so and she's not feeling so well because Florida right now it's 40s, and then in the afternoon it's like 70s. So it's messing with her, but yeah, so the kind of martial arts that we teach is karate. So it's a Japanese style, one of the 4 major styles called Shito-ryu. But I actually bought the karate school from Ron Sell. I'm sure you know who Ron Sell is. Yeah, it was Spark, before it was Rainmaker, and then he ventured off to doing Spark. And I still use Rainmaker. Like my account is number 1 with Rainmaker.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I've owned it since 2013. I actually bought it from Ron Sell, and karate is our style of karate is very, very traditional. But I was very lucky that I got exposed to like Taekwondo, how he ran his school,
right?
And and how he marketed and all that. So I kind of am like a modernized like tradition of teaching karate, and also how we run the business too, because my sensei is so old school back in New Jersey. You're in New Jersey, right?
I'm in New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, so the dojo is in Cranford, New Jersey.
Okay.
It's in Union County area. But he's very old school, and you know, his business is not doing so well, and he just won't change, you know, like
It's tough. You see a lot of that with with
Mhm.
some of the more traditionalists, the older guys, things like that. It's hard to make that adjustment, which I
So when you, yeah, when you sent that email, I'm like, oh man, I just want to help. Like, I just want to see, like, if whatever. So one of the first things that I did when first I was panicking, and then the second thing I did was I revamped my website. You know, before, and I'm sure that this is just for my situation, but like the dojo, our dojo is in a pretty great residential area. It's in a plaza. It's in a Shell gas station. It's anchored with like the public library across the street from me. I have like within a 10-mile radius, I have elementary schools, like 3 elementary schools. So my demographic helped, the location of my business helped. So I never really needed to spend money like on a website. So I kind of just did like the very minimum on a website. But because of this and everything was going to be online, and word of mouth was not going to be enough. And so I did 97 display, and I switched over to 97 display, and they're pretty expensive. I feel like it is a little costly, but I'm getting leads because of um, I feel like how the web forms are, and how as soon as they fill out a web form, I get a phone call right away. It connects them right away. So sometimes when they're not even done filling out the form, they fill out like the phone number, like they're getting a call, and I go, I'm still filling it out, you know. And
That's
so
pretty impressive,
yeah, it's very impressive. And they're,
especially to the consumer. Like how, like
yeah.
we talk about customer service, if you expand on that a little bit, like how much better does that get? Like if they're that good at contacting me right away, they got to be like on the ball. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and it's not every time. Like I just had a couple web forms, two of them this morning, but I'm not at the dojo. So I mean, those get. I mean, I'll sometimes call them on my cell phone, but I sometimes don't like calling on my cell phone because then,
Sure.
and my dojo's far away. You know what I mean. So, but yeah, so they'll connect them right away, and so 97 display honestly has really helped me capture leads. And then the second thing is my trial. I do a $39 trial. So before, people would just walk in, they would see packed classes. You can see through like the windows, like all these classes, like everyone's saying, everyone's in uniform, everyone's looking sharp. But now, everyone is first. They're kind of scared to step in, right? So to kind of break that ice, I do a $39 trial for 2 weeks, and that includes 4 classes and a free uniform. So my uniform cost with custom logo printed on the back is like $18. So for that $39 trial, I might be teaching a couple classes for free, but I got them to come through the door. And then I'm so confident in our program, and our customer service, and how we teach and how we make people feel in our culture, that as soon as they walk in, they're impressed. So I just need to get them to walk through those doors.
Sure.
And that $39 trial has been awesome.
What were
Like,
you doing? What were you doing before the $39 again?
so I did that website. I switched over my website from what I had before. It was called Link Now Media. The company, they were in Canada, and they just weren't doing exactly what I wanted to do as far as like landing pages and the trial, and filling out web forms. And they couldn't even get like a web form on each page. I'm like, why do I have to pay extra for that? And then 97 does web forms like on every single page
Right.
to fill out. But I did that in say July, August, like in probably July, my website launched, and some are a little slow. So September started capturing leads, inquiries, and then now in January, I mean, I think I have like 14 trials right now, just waiting to convert after this 2 week period.
And you're doing
Um,
strictly the $39 to get in.
39 bucks, 39 bucks
Mhm.
online. And I'm not getting too many Zooms because everyone's sick of Zoom,
Yes.
right? But we're still keeping that alive. So, and that's my other point, that how I'm teaching classes that I'd want to share. Maybe that helps alleviate kind of like, okay, well, if you don't want to do Zoom, you want to do in person, or vice versa.
Right.
So,
Right. I got you. Yeah.
but that $39 is really good.
Yeah,
Really good.
it adds one more value, just to to stack that. So okay, so the $39,
39 bucks,
they're getting 2 weeks. And
2 weeks, so four classes,
4 classes. Okay. So you're doing what, 2 classes a week or how many?
2 classes a week for that level. Yeah, for that particular level.
Okay. Have you changed your schedule at all since all this has happened?
Yeah, so I changed my schedule to um but I used to do Monday through Friday, and now I do Monday through Thursday because Fridays are my intro days. Because I do an introductory lesson. I don't just throw them in the class and let them sink or swim. So especially if somebody is like 6 years old or 7. I mean, they haven't met me. They don't know the dojo. They haven't thrown like their first punch or kick. So I do an intro lesson and then kind of get a chance for them to meet me. And
Have you always done that?
yeah.
You've always had that Friday specifically for that?
Oh no, no. I used to do them at 4 o'clock. I used to do them
Oh, so
during.
so you started doing this after COVID hit.
Yeah,
So that was
because
a change.
Fridays, it was
Okay.
just so much, like, because,
Yeah.
um, well, what I was doing is we're doing a hybrid, so we're teaching Zoom and we're teaching in person simultaneously.
So you just didn't really have the time to do that anymore. Now, since you made that move, which kind of forced you into doing it, maybe you weren't even thinking about it before. Do you find that it's more beneficial by committing that Friday specifically for new kids? Has that increased, them actually signing up as compared to when you were doing it like right before classes?
It's honestly, it's just it's probably the same, to be
Same.
honest with you. And the reason why I'm saying that now is because the schedule is so tight
Yeah.
that now I'm gonna have to, which is it's good news that I'm gonna have to add two beginner classes. One is the little champ ones that's 4 to 6 years old, and then the other one is beginner class, 7 to 12,
Okay.
white and yellow belts. Because my white and yellow belt group, once they starts getting to like 20 kids, um, I need to spread out the schedule because if not, it's always jam packed, and then I'm working. I mean, like I'm working for hard for nothing because they're gonna be like, this is too packed, or COVID. They're really tight and close. I gotta spread out the schedule. So I think in 1 month I'm gonna start Friday classes again.
Okay.
So what I'll just do is I'll work my way around those intros on Friday, because it's only 2 classes.
Is there any advice that you can give to the school owner that's still struggling a little bit, maybe on the fence of whether or not they even want to continue to do this or not? Did how long did it take you from like March of last year when all of this hit in order to kind of make those adjustments that you needed to make to make sure that you continued to survive and thrive through even, these tough times?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's when COVID happened, it happened right before spring break here in Florida. So I had 2 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 week, one full week to really kind of like plan out what am I gonna do. And so um, I, I searched through our industry and in our space, and really the Zoom stuff. It was first just Zoom, and I followed a lot of Chris Rodriguez. She's here in Tampa. I'm sure you've heard of her, um, and she completely did a layout for me on how to do the Zoom. And so I got my camera. I was troubleshooting like crazy with DSLR cameras and web cameras, and is there a lag? Is there not a lag? The mic. So it did take a little bit, but that was just when it was. I guess it just depends where the school owner's at, right? Which state, because every state is a little different
Yeah,
as
exactly.
far as restrictions, right? But even if Zoom, so let's say the state is just you can't do in person, you can't do group classes. I still feel like you can still have them excited doing Zoom. Like right now, I have students that have not stepped in through the dojo since March, and they stayed loyal with me. But it's just because I keep it fresh and I keep it very exciting. I've had to adjust my curriculum because beginners or novice groups, they never used to touch a weapon. Well, with Zoom, you got to keep them excited and put some tradition in there along with some excitement with some weapon training. Have
So
them buy like some foam nunchucks, teach them some figure eights. You
yeah,
know,
I was just about to ask you with Zoom. I mean, that's a whole different animal. I mean, it's not the same as being out on the floor. So what did you do to like what did you do to actually keep them excited? Like, I mean,
So
that's tough to do. Like
yeah,
when you're in front of camera. And I think a lot of people, well, first of all, you know, a lot of people have a fear of getting in front of the camera to begin with, you know,
yeah,
and you know, but once you start doing it, it becomes a lot easier and it becomes a lot more
sure.
fun. So was there anything specific, like you said you made some changes to your curriculum, you
Yeah,
know, to keep them exciting, keep them engaged?
yeah,
You know, and I did the same thing. I tried to think of a lot of different videos that were different that they could still do, get them in a more interacting into the class. So what did you do? Anything specific that you can think of?
sure.
Top
So
of your head?
some specific examples. Yeah, I'll give you some specific material. So I use a lot of like plastic cups, and I would put the plastic cup like on top of a tiny tiger bag or just like a chair and stack some blast masters on top of them, make like a mount. I would say, all right, guys, grab a chair, stack some pillows or some throw pillows, whatever you got, makes a mountain of some sort, and put that solo cup or that plastic cup. Make sure it's a plastic cup, not a glass cup, because you don't want to hurt your foot or break anything. And we're gonna work on our accuracy and work on our chamber kick rechamber and strike that cup. You know, whoever does the best striking, I'm gonna award you a blue stripe, and you're gonna get at the end of the week. I'm gonna mail it and you put it on your belt, and I want to see that blue stripe the next time I see you in Zoom
Ah,
class.
smart. I like that.
So I do that because they love, you know, we spotlight a lot in class that builds their confidence, their self-esteem, and they're becoming a leader. And so how can I do that? I still did the same thing in Zoom. I would spotlight, like I would do a lot of this. Oh, I can't spotlight because I'm not a host, but like you know how to spotlight in Zoom, like you right click and then like
Oh yeah, I got you.
you know how you know what I mean, like the
With the
spotlight.
reactions.
Yeah, so I would say, whoa, like um, Amanda, that was an amazing roundhouse kick. Everyone, get close to that camera. Eyes on Amanda, really quick. I'm gonna spotlight her. Amanda, can you turn your audio on? I want a nice strong key. And so she is doing this kick in front of like 20 kids in Zoom.
Yeah.
And then I say, hey guys, throw an emoji out there, give her a thumbs up, give her a round of applause, and then you see the whole screen fill up with emoji, a round of applause.
And you
You
know
know,
what
like
the funny thing is, that's that engagement that you can't get on the regular martial arts floor as much. I mean, it's always good to highlight students, right?
yeah,
Every now and then we see something that's really done well. We take a second, we highlight it, that kid feels amazing, and then all of a sudden, what happens? The entire class explodes with energy and everybody does
yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Uh, I like that. That's and I
Yeah,
like the fact that you're encouraging them to interact by sending out the emojis, you know, the thumbs up.
yeah, because I got to use it. You know, how can I because it's boring. Like I get bored hearing myself talk a lot, like a long time. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah, yeah.
somebody else count. I'm tired of hearing my voice. Somebody else count. You know, like I try to like
I love it, man. That's
poke fun
great.
at it, but really I'm trying to get them involved,
I
right?
keep it going. I'm listening.
Yeah, and so that's what I do, and I'm like, man, I'm sorry, I'm like wearing a hat and stuff. Like this is weekend, man.
Who
Like,
cares, man? I don't think anybody cares. This is all about. It's about the info, brother.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
About
So
the info.
I just like, I mean, it's exhausting, sure,
Yeah,
but man, like if it's their passion, like this is gonna be short term. So just
yeah,
you know, go through the storm, weather the storm, and that's what I keep doing, and I've been weathering it since March.
yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just I have a daughter, I have a 1-year-old, so like that helps a
That's a
lot
lot of
too.
motivation. That's a lot of motivation.
But yeah, like so I'm always thinking like, how can I get them just not listening to me the whole because you if you're teaching and a lot of these guys I'm sure they know like your brain's going 1,000 miles an hour while you're instructing because you're thinking about the next part of the drill or who you're going to highlight or how you can stop and instruct better. So I'm always thinking like, man, how can I get these guys involved more because they're just going to get so bored as listening to me the whole entire time. So I do that. That's how I have them interact with the spotlighting helps a lot. And you know, I'll just say little things like, "Oh, I'm throwing you some Zoom vibes," or throwing you some of my little guys, my 4 and 6 year olds, little champs. I'm giving you some electricity. Bzzz, did you feel that? Yeah, and then
Yeah, I do
you know,
that.
throwing you some electricity. Give me some elbow power. Give me some pound. Boom, and
Yeah,
you know, I just try to get them involved like that. Another really cool thing with the little guys is I'll hit this screen share if you can enable it for me, I can do it real quick for you. and there's a YouTube channel called RSD Online Games. I don't know
Where
if
do
you
I do that actually?
just give
How do
me
I
some
share my screen?
capabilities.
Oh, hold on. Share screen.
Yeah, well, I want to share my screen so I can show you, but I need permission. I need like for you to let me be able to share my screen. Might maybe like under participants.
Let me check. Hold on.
Yeah, if you click on participants and then go to New Tampa Karate and then maybe
If
more.
I make you a host, will that?
Yeah, make me a host. There you go. There you go. Perfect. I should be able to share my screen. All right, so this is I'll do exactly this, Tony. Like at the end, I always like to end the class with something of excitement, right? With energy, you know, like not just all right, guys, that's it. Like I try to finish at least with even with exercise, like you know, sit-ups, push it, like something where they're moving and then we bow off, not
Right.
just all right, we're done, you know. So especially with little champs, I end it with a game. Not every time, but sometimes, and then I'll go to our YouTube. I go to YouTube and I type in this thing's called RSD Online Games right here. Have you heard of this one?
I haven't. No.
All right, so it's called RSD Online, and there's a whole bunch of these virtual games, and they update it a lot, like almost every week. For instance, this one's called Ninja Forest Challenge, and I'm screen sharing with them, and then I'll maximize it. I'm like, guys, give me a thumbs up if you can hear the audio. Everyone can hear the audio, and I'll be like, okay, it's good. So I did an audio check like that, and
Oh,
then
nice. Oh, so you don't even have to create the content. You're just using what's already out there and just let it go.
and as I'm watching you right now, like on the boxes, I'm seeing all of them like punching. I'm like, hey Johnny, get your guard up, Why your hands down? Kick higher, kick higher. You know, and I'm doing it with them, like, whoa, it almost got me. Whoa. Yeah.
I got it,
Yeah.
man. I like it. That's awesome. I didn't know. I had no idea that that existed. That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome idea, man. Awesome.
Oh, well, I don't know why I did that. Sorry. Hold on.
I kind of like it.
And
That's great, man.
that really like it helps a lot.
Oh,
uh,
I could imagine. Yes,
yeah.
this is exactly what I was. This was exactly what I was hoping for. You know, because I mean, I hadn't. I mean, I'm pretty keen to a lot of stuff, and I hadn't.
Yeah, like the shark one is cool. What am I doing here? Okay. The Ninja Forest one is pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's, and I usually use this for like again my little chance because there are a little you know kiddish I guess and so for an appropriate age if I go like 8 years old, 9 you'll be like, all right, sensei, like what is this, you know?
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah, but for your younger guys, this is great.
yeah, I mean, and when it was Thanksgiving, we're doing the turkey ninja too. You know, it was Thanksgiving.
RSD online games. Got that, guys? Make sure you go check that out. I'm gonna definitely put that on my favorites. That's great.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
I use that for my little champs, and then like I said, I've had to modify it a little bit with weapons now because you just got to keep them interested. So kind of going out of a little bit of my comfort zone, and I've had to learn, like for instance, the tonfa. I've been in martial arts since 6 years old, and I've never touched a tonfa, and it's like that PR weapon, you know, the old cop weapon, you know,
You
the
know the only
baton.
the only thing I remember that weapon from was you remember the video game, the karate video game. What was it called? Karate Champ. Like I'm
Karate
pretty sure.
champ.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure one of those. How old are you?
I'm 35, sir.
Oh, you know, it might be a little bit before your time. I'm a little bit
Yeah.
older than you. I'm 11 years older than you. When I was a kid, karate champ, yeah, I think one of the guys had a pair of Tonfas. If I remember,
Really? In a video game they had tonfas?
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was karate champ. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but I definitely.
Oh man, yeah, that's a really cool weapon right now. And I mean,
Yeah,
I've had a, you know, I'm a
yeah.
white belt again.
I've done some
You know?
stuff with it in my classes, but
They're
that's
really
great.
neat. Yeah. So I mean that, and Um, I, 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 I sometimes I think one time I did um, like a scavenger hunt,
Okay.
and I got creative like that, and I said, all right, we're gonna have a little contest, and the student that or the yeah the student that comes back quickest with I don't know, like a roll of toilet paper, gets 100 points, and student with the most points, I'm gonna give you something.
That's awesome.
I did challenges too. Like I sent a video out and I said, if whoever performs this kick, it's like a kick challenge. Whoever performs this kick the best, I'm gonna award a weapon of your choice and mail it to your house. So I did like a kick contest, like a kick challenge.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't do one the past couple of months, but I was doing that primarily when it was just Zoom. I was doing that kick challenge.
Okay, that's cool.
Um,
I get,
and
I got a lot of great ideas, man. Dojo Hero may need to go on the road and take a trip down to Florida with my video camera.
Oh man, hey, the door's open, man. Of course. Yeah. Like it's just I want to help, like we're staying afloat. Like we had around 200 members, 200 students, and we got down to like we lost like 50 or so.
Yeah,
So I'm definitely grateful. Like I'm very happy our families are very loyal. But I mean, one thing I got to say is like you have to work your butt off. Like there is no shortcut to that.
right.
But just take one task at a time and just don't feel overwhelmed, because I think that's the toughest part, is feeling overwhelmed and stressed and stuff. Is just take it little by little, be organized. I'm a writer, man. I write things. I have a whiteboard. I write everything down. That whole Zoom thing that program and hybrid classes, like I have a huge whiteboard and I just gather I think of something and I write it down, and that really really helps a lot.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I do the same thing. I got a whiteboard with about 50 different things
Yeah,
written on it when I was
especially yeah.
creating something new, and it truly, truly does help. Um, uh, I don't want to waste all your time, Eddie. I mean, you've given us
No,
some.
I'm good, man. You call me on a Saturday, and I'm relaxing.
All right, cool, cool, cool. Um, are you doing anything as far as like promotion wise? Like, how are you getting your name out there? That seems to be working. More than you may have expected, or something that you haven't done in the past that you had to do a little bit different. Or you just
Promotion, like as far as what promotion? What do you mean?
like, are you running Facebook ads? Like,
Oh
how are you
yeah.
doing
Um, so what I did spend like I put down like $500 one time to boost my presence on my new website when I revamped my website, and then the $39 trial I did that as well because I use Rainmaker. So if I have that link, they can purchase it right away through a profit generator,
that?
and then so I was creating my presence there. Um, but really, I always ask when my intro lessons, and I'm never afraid to ask, and because I always say like, "Well, I just want to know what's working," and how'd you hear about us? Do you live in the area, or did someone tell us about you? And so a lot of it is, I would say 80% of those answers is Google reviews. Everyone Google reviews. So fortunately, I've had really Google reviews, and even like recent ones, because of our belt promotions. We used to hold a belt ceremony at the dojo, and there'd be like over 100 people, like all the family members, especially the little guys. All the family members come, and we couldn't do that anymore. So I had to get creative, and I do a drive-through belt ceremony where I get a Chinese takeout box, and we put a black belt ribbon around it. We put candy in there, and then on the
Smart.
handle we have their certificate and their belt, and we pass it with a bow staff through the window.
Really? All right, tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about that. I got to hear a little bit more about that.
so
Go into it.
so so we still had a because business, right? Like we still huge bonus or huge uh, bonus money, or just keep slow months or keep it afloat of belt promotion fees, because we charge belt fees. So how
Okay.
can I still have a ceremony? Because sometimes families think that our belt fees was for that graduation ceremony that I
Right.
hosted inside the dojo. But I always tell the parents that the belt fees is the whole month of testing your child, making sure that they're learning the material and that they're earning their next rank. it's not just me giving them the belt. So the belt test fee includes that. It includes their belt, their certificate, and it includes the ceremony. So the ceremony, what I do is I bought a couple of tents from a sporting goods store, like a really, really big tents, and I just decorated out. I put balloons everywhere around the plaza, and I put my speaker system that we have at the dojo, and I'm blasting music, and I have an air horn. And every time they pull up, I go, "Hey, Brian!" Boom, 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 and I'm like loud, and they love it. You know, I have kids pulling up. So we've done what? How many did we do? We've done so end of the school year, end of summer, end of the year. We've done 3 drive-through ceremonies already, and it's getting now I got to think of what am I going to do this time around. I think I might do a park this time. I might do something a little different because that ceremony, the drive-through is great, but now it's starting to like not be as exciting, you know.
Sure.
But the first one was pretty awesome, and I mean, I have students like they are dressed in full uniform in their car to receive their belt, which is pretty neat.
That's actually a great idea. I hope everybody's taking notes because he's dropping some
Yeah.
great knowledge here, guys.
And this is just because you're like, well, Sensei, do I have to wear my uniform when we go through our time through the drive-through ceremony? And I go, you don't have to, but you're about to get this belt. You've been working hard on it for 4 months. I mean, I would wear my full uniform, full gi, because I'm going to be taking pictures. So, and then
Well said, right?
they all wear it. They all wear it.
Say no
I,
more.
I've had him. I've had one student. I was like, "Yeah, you look awesome," because he pulled out of the van and he went boom and he bowed. I'm like, "That is awesome!" And he bowed. I didn't ask him to bow. He just stepped out. He's like, "Thank you, Sensei." And he bowed, and I gave him his belt. It's really cool. It's really awesome, and just keeping it alive, man. Just you know doing what I got to do. So that ceremony really, really helps. And I do it on a Saturday and I spread out the time. So I think I had like 2 groups from 9 to 10 and then another group from 10 to 11. And by then once we're done in 2 hours, we're done. And then afterwards, we clean up and all that because it's a lot of work prepping and a lot of work after cleaning up. And so then I buy, there's a Mexican restaurant right in our plaza and I buy a whole bunch of tacos and I give all my staff and all my helpers and just take care of them for lunch and all that. So,
That's great, man. That's
so
so
that's what
half
I
a
do.
day's work almost. You
Yeah.
probably just made a huge impact on your school as a whole. And when things, eventually do go back to normal, how many of these things that you're implementing now that the changes have forced you to make, how many of those things do you think you're going to continue to implement that you found were really working well that you really may never have even thought of?
The Zoom camera to display to show the in-person live class. So we had a lot of parents hang out in our studio to watch their child train. A lot of them are working using our Wi-Fi, great, and they're there, they're present. But I don't allow parents to hang out in the dojo anymore, just to have less traffic. So what can I do? And so what I do is I actually like for instance right now, let's say I'm teaching, you know, um, uh, drills right now with you, and then there's a live class going on in person. This is the Zoom classroom. I'm sorry, and there's a live class going on. I do a breakout room, and then every parent that comes into this room right now, I see it's Johnny's mom, it's Kevin's dad. Then I send them to that breakout room, and there's a camera in front of the mat that's displaying the live class. So what's going on is they're hanging out in the parking lot and they're watching that live feed.
Okay.
They're watching that class. So I like that. I think I'm going to continue with that because I've noticed I've had grandparents from different states watching their nephews, watching their grandchildren
Yeah.
train, and I just think that's a pretty cool retention. And that's something very easy that I could continue on once Zoom is hopefully over with. Um,
That you know what, it's smart though. I mean, when you think about it too, because again, it's just one more value add. When
yeah,
you're bringing somebody new in.
yeah,
The grandparents, they can't see. They may be across the country, but for them to see their grandchildren, that right there alone
Yeah.
has added a tremendous amount of value.
So I think that's something I never thought of.
Right.
Never.
I was just about to say, if it hadn't been for this, these are
Yeah.
some of the things that probably never would have been implemented, but have added a tremendous amount of value to
Also, like if they're sick, like let's say they're a little, they have a fever or not, maybe they have a cold and they don't want anybody else sick, but they could
yeah,
still train, but they have a cold. Just tune into our Zoom class and follow along.
that's great.
That's another one. Um, but I just, even though hopefully we can go all back in person in a couple months, like every state is different, right? But it's just Florida is, I know Florida, everyone, I don't know who else is watching, but Florida is just, sometimes people just don't care, I guess, but I do my due diligence. I mean, I go, I'm by the book, I follow all the CDC guidelines, and I'm not doing anything, shifty or anything like that. But I just, even though our state is like really relaxed, I guess, I just still don't see going back to normal right away. Like, let's say I'm not doing any more Zoom classes. Well, then I'm still not going to be able to have all the parents inside the dojo like
Right,
before.
right.
So I'm gonna have to continue on that live Zoom camera so they can see. So I mean that's just gonna go on for a while, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Eddie, I appreciate your time so much. I
Yeah,
mean,
man. Of course.
you've given so much great information.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you want to share? Is there anything else that you want to say to everybody that's going to eventually be watching this? Because we're going to share this with everybody in the martial arts community, and I think.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were sharing this right now
But
somehow.
I'm not right now. It's just you and I. It's just you and I right now.
Yeah. No, I mean it's just like I want to say thank you, Tony, for I know you working hard on those drills, and you are really that care factor for us is amazing, and it's just it's keeping us going, and we gotta help each other out. I've honestly I've even contacted, and that's another thing I would say is there's so many karate schools, at least for where my school is. There's literally 3 karate schools down the street from me.
Yeah.
And more within a 15-20 mile radius.
Sure.
Like I've even talked to other school owners. Like I've gone to their, when this was all happening, we're all kind of like in panic mode. Like I've gone to their schools and we've exchanged ideas. Like we're not a competitor. We're trying to keep this alive and not shut our doors and help each other out. Like we're all human, and we're all trying to, this is our livelihood, this is our passion, our careers, this is our livelihood. And be open-minded. Don't be so my way or no way. It's just you got to really be open-minded and give it a try. So
Absolute great advice.
yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Be resourceful. Ask questions. Yeah. Well,
Thanks.
thanks, Tony. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate you hearing me out. I got to share it with you, and you're the first person I've shared all my ideas with, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of been like a hermit, like, no, I'm not gonna. I'm not really like that, but you have such a big outreach, so I'm like, you know what? Like, I'd love to share. So.
We appreciate it. You're the first of hopefully many. We've had several people already reach out to us that have had success during this time, so we're looking forward to recording them too. But it was great to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Tony.
Finally, to put a face.
Yeah. Awesome documentary, by the way. You got to have me a little.
Oh, did you see?
Awesome, man. That's a great story. That's pretty cool.
I was quite surprised when they reached out to me, considering how many people they could have chosen for that.
Yeah.
It was nice to have them. They came and spent a couple of days at my house and basically recorded everything I was doing. I'm like, I wonder what my neighbors are thinking. I was pulling up with all this hardcore equipment and stuff like that, and drones. It was really
drones. Oh yeah, because they're getting
drones. I had everything. I mean, it was crazy. But they were. Let me tell you. They were the nicest and most respectful group of guys that could have possibly come in. They couldn't have been any more professional than they were.
That's
just
awesome.
super, super nice. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
You deserve all that credit, man. I really liked it. So great job, man. Keep it up. Keep it up.
I appreciate it. Well, go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. If you have any more ideas that just that you want to share, just hit me up, and I'll be more than happy to always jump on here with you.
Yeah, likewise, likewise, and same thing, man. Reach out whenever you're in Tampa. We got to connect. So I'd love to hang out and
I'm going to be coming down shortly.
rub some shoulders, man.
Yeah,
Cool,
we're gonna do some stuff.
awesome. All right, Tony, take care, man. Take
Eddie,
it
have a
easy.
great one, man. We'll
You
see you.
too. Bye bye.
Bye, buddy.